Welcome back, everybody. So, the first thing we've got to do is trick her into cleaning this crucifix. That seems easy enough to do. We'll just swap it over here.
Some of the objects have a numbered sticker under them. The number must show what order they're supposed to be restored in.
Child prodigy.
Cool. I'll trade it for the object that's next on the list to be restored.
And she doesn't even notice.
Doctor didn't even notice.
Wow. We are super stealthy. And again, notice, the cup is gone. Alright, now we're going to have our conversation.
Hi there again, Doctor.
What do you want now?
I just want to chat. I'm lonely.
Doctor, it is of the utmost importance that you restore this crucifix right now.
Look here, boy. Didn't I make myself clear? I have to restore all of the numbered items on the shelf. Every last one. In 36 hours. If I don't have a hernia first, that is.
Why would you have a hernia? They're not that heavy. I mean, it's a mask. Also, we were told 3 days.
What is the son of Uxitsa?
It's the most important piece on display at the Mayan exhibition. A stone mask with a large ruby set in the forehead. It was recently found at a temple in Piedras Negras in Honduras. I've been working to restore it and leave it in perfect condition for 2 weeks. I have no doubt that it will be the centerpiece of the exhibition.
You must take pride in your work.
Despite a lack of certain indispensable means, my work has been praised by the most prestigious of journals. So yes, I suppose there is a reason to feel pride.
Are you a specialist in the art of the Maya?
I'm a specialist in art. A professional, if you know what that word means.
Whoa, lady. Whoa. I did not attack you.
Where's the mask you mentioned?
It's such a priceless piece that it won't be placed in the exhibit until the very last moment. It's held in a special vault that's kept at the ideal temperature and humidity needed to preserve the mask.
Just what does your work consist of?
My job is to restore works of art. And let me tell you something. No one in the world does it better than I do.
This game is full of humble people.
How are the pieces cataloged?
The museum uses the latest scanner, which examines the piece using radiation. After determining the age and makeup of the item, the database is searched and a report is issued. Of course, an expert opinion is required at that point.
What are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm using a small lathe to clean up any flaws on the object. Then a laser smooths it out.
I thought a museum like this would have more resources.
Thinking is so simple. Don't you think I might work more efficiently if you leave me alone?
Must be pretty interesting to work
I'm just
in
going to
this
keep bugging
museum.
her.
It could be interesting if I were an employee, but actually I'm a downtrodden slave. I've been asking for an assistant to help me get this department in shape for months, and the only thing I get back are letters about a lack of funds. They're a swarm of parasites, I'm telling you.
So,
I'll just let you work.
she's got some strong opinions. This object over here looked out of place. Pick up the strange brush.
It looks like some sort of talcum powder container. I may be needing this.
See if there's anything else.
Could be a briefcase full of varnish.
Briefcase full of varnish. That's the name of my first solo
I'll
album.
take this one here. It's colorless, but it could come in handy. It seems like a human, but one that hasn't evolved much. Cro-Magnon or something. Helium. I think it weighs too much.
Which is funny, because, helium. Alright. Take a look at this laser.
It doesn't look very powerful. I think it could be made stronger by putting in a larger ruby.
Is that a puzzle hint?
It's empty.
An empty trash can in an adventure game. I don't know what to do with myself. Alright, so we've got a whole museum to explore here.
There's something inside. Let's take a look.
Told you, trash cans,
An empty
man.
package of coffee. I don't know what I...
He will not take the empty package of coffee, even though it exists.
There are different types of coffee. Cappuccino, espresso, cafe au lait, ice blended mocha. I think the little red light that's on means it's out of coffee.
That's also tragic. Alright, so we're going to have another long conversation here with Willie the janitor.
Hello?
Hey, you're a friend of Clive's, aren't you?
Totally,
I saw you
brah.
come in with him and that hot babe.
Yes, my name is Brian. Brian Basco.
Brian? Dude, what a name!
Yeah, like
Are you
totally.
a geek or what?
Hey.
I'm Willie. I'm in charge of administration here at this dump.
Administration? You mean maintenance and all that, right?
No, dude. I mean, I'm gonna smack you silly if you don't quit yapping. I'm not a maid, I'll have you know. This whole museum would go to pot if it wasn't for me. And besides, you should know that I run my own small business.
Okay, guy, calm down. What kind of small business are you running?
Let's just say I represent a laboratory equipment factory. Here, take one of my cards in case you need any of our fine products.
William P. Dustin. Laboratory equipment. There's a phone number on it. Thanks, I'll keep it in mind.
So, dude's name is Willie, and he's looking down on the name Brian. He's judging me as a nerd because my name is Brian, not because of the way I'm dressed.
What can you tell me about Dr. Olivov?
Hello? Hey, Mr. Potter! Yeah, you know, it's always a pleasure to do business with you. What do you need this time?
I asked you a question.
100x eyepiece for an optical microscope? I'll have to see if they're in stock. But I probably can. Let me check with the warehouse, okay? Call me back in 10 minutes. Sure. We'll discuss price later.
Anybody else feel like this is a little
Same to you, Mr.
shady?
Potter. See ya. Hey, dude, let's drop the small talk. I got other affairs going on. Well, you know how it is. Business is business.
Okay, goodbye.
He's got
So
the
we get
weirdest
upstairs.
walk.
Let's see where to.
I just love that shuffling walk. Like,
Look
he's
at him jive along.
perpetually off balance, and I gotta use my arms to keep me from falling over. Yo, man, what it is. So he's selling lab equipment that he steals from the
No
museum.
way! Willie knows the combination to get into the analysis laboratory. I don't know how he got the combination because I highly doubt he's authorized to go in there. Now I think I know where the laboratory equipment factory that Willie supposedly represents is really located.
A child prodigy.
This controls access to the analysis laboratory.
Which I'm sure is full of
I should
all
wait
sorts
for
of
Willie to leave
goodies.
the lab before going in there myself. It'd be embarrassing for the two of us to run into each other.
Alright, so I've got to go duck in somewhere so Willie will come out. I'll go into Clive's office.
I can see that Gina and Clive have gone on that casual little stroll around the museum.
And I
There's
won't...
no doubt about it. Clive's the same old guy as ever. He'd ignore his own mother to chase after a woman.
Really, I feel like most men should ignore their mother to chase after a potential mate. I'm just saying, if it's a choice between, hey, there's that hot chick over there that I could go out with, or I could sit here and drink tea with my mom, I feel like the wise choice. Alright. So now Willie should be out of the lab. So I have to figure out the code to get into this lab. Luckily, I have a plan. We'll use this varnish here.
Good idea. Go for it. Now I can't touch any of the keys. If I leave a fingerprint behind, it would ruin the entire plan. The next thing I have to do is get Willie to enter the combination that opens the door, so his fingerprints are left behind on the right keys.
Yeah, I had figured that out. Thanks. That's why I was doing
Check out
this.
this large bone. Must be from some prehistoric animal.
Well, I doubt it's from a dog.
William Laboratory Equipment. There's a phone number up. That doesn't make sense.
So I can't use the card on the phone.
Good idea. I'll call Willie and try to get him to enter the analysis laboratory. That way, I can try to find out the access code. I hope the number on that business card he gave me is his real phone number.
Hello?
Mr. Dustin?
Yeah, that's me. What can I do for you?
Well, my name is Frank Steiger. I'm a friend of Mr. Potter's. He told me you could furnish me with some products that I need.
Sure. It's a pleasure to do business with a friend of Mr. Potter's. He's one of my best customers, you know. By the way, your voice sounds familiar. Do we know each other, Mr. Steiger?
No, I don't think so.
Well, anyway...
So you're not going to make
what
fun
can
of the
I do
name
you for?
Frank?
Well, I was interested in some eyepieces. Yeah, eyepieces for optical microscopes.
Whoa! This must be repeat request night. Seems like everyone's looking for the same thing.
Come again?
Nothing, Mr. Stagger. Just running off at the mouth. Tell me, what kind of eyepieces do you need? I can tell you I got a nice set of 100Xs.
Well, I was looking for some 200X eyepieces, actually.
200, huh? Well, I'll have to check the warehouse. Call me back in 10 minutes and I'll tell you if we have any in stock.
Okay, talk to you soon then.
Talk to you soon, Mr. Stagger.
He's coming up now. I'll hide behind here.
In this alcove that exists in the museum for no reason. Jiving along, singing a song. He's also got a really bow-legged walk. Like his knees hate each other.
I should wait for Willie to leave the lab before going in there myself. It'd be embarrassing for the two of us to run into each other.
True story. So when it turns into an arrow, I can double-click to speed up the process, but actually walking around I gotta wait on. Alright, so now Willie's gone.
It's chock full of books and exotic items.
Now, we'll use this talcum powder to really make his fingerprints pop.
Perfect. Now I can tell which keys have Willie's fingerprints on them and guess the combination. I'll only dust the keys that have varnish on them. Cool. Now I can tell Willie's fingerprints apart from mine, no problem. And it looks like the varnish dried completely with the powder on it. So now I can press the keys without having to worry about erasing the fingerprints. The numbers that make up the code are 1, 3, 7, and 8. All I have to do is figure out the right combination. If I remember right, when I saw Willie enter the combination, the sounds the keys made went something like...
Super useful. Thank you, child prodigy. So, I've got 4 digits, and all I have to do is keep putting them in random patterns until I get it right.
No, that's not right. They sounded more like this.
My God. I like to imagine he's just sitting there saying this to himself.
No, that's not right. They sounded more like this.
Okay, actually, he did a pretty good job of humming that.
Yeah, that's it. 8137. I won't forget that combination.
Do you promise?
It's pretty dark in here, but I better not turn on the lights. I don't want anyone to find me here.
Hey, look at that big ruby on that.
It looks like a thermal chamber used to keep pieces of art under ideal conditions of temperature and humidity. The Sun of Uxitsa star display at the Mayan art exhibition has gotta be in there.
Yeah, that's probably what that is.
The ruby on that thing is huge.
Hint, 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 hint.
It's an old key or something. Maybe I'll find a place to use it. Well, how about that? There was a note under it. Let's see. Clive, here is the ancient Aztec key all clean and polished like you requested. Next time don't wait so long before having it cleaned. It was disgustingly filthy. See you next Monday. Signed by a guy named Ron. So, the key belongs to Clive. Well, I'll just give it to him later.
You know, to let him know that I broke into the secret lab here. Actually, the fact that the key belongs to Clive is a hint. Believe it or not. Alright. That's actually all we can do right now. But this will come up later.
It's filled with liquid nitrogen. I'm quite familiar with these from my university days.
That sounds cold.
I wouldn't want to have to use this, so I'd better watch how I handle the devices in here. Locked up tight.
Yeah, I don't think we can't even look at the garbage can. What kind of adventure game is this? So, for right now, we're actually stuck. Because there's nothing else that we can do. Unless...
Let's see. This is a 2-volume treatise on anthropology. I was never very interested in this subject, but I may need the books to find my way around the museum. Hey, look what was hidden under the books on the table. It's an X-shaped crack.
I will never use those books, but I had to move them out of the way so that this crack would show in the desk, matching this key.
Yes, I bet the key fits perfectly.
That's right, Clive has a hidden
Aha!
compartment
Look what we
in
have
his
here.
desk.
A hidden safe.
And the only way you could have found out about the hidden safe is by grabbing that key and then picking up those books, and then there's an item.
No,
Or then
I
there's
never
a
steal money
keyhole.
from anyone, especially not a good friend. It looks like a bunch of documents.
Where is it? There you go. Pixel hunting. There's a device in here.
It's a voice recorder. Well, okay. I'll just borrow it from Clive for a while. Then I'll give it back to him.
Sure. Do we want to cover our tracks? Can we? Because I'm totally going to give that back to him after I explain how I stole it from his hidden compartment in his desk. Alright, so I want that ruby.
Let's take a peek. I know it can't be opened manually. I think you have to push that button over there to open it.
Did I not tell you to push... Again, it's a little tiny pixel.
Please state your name for the voice identification system.
Susan Oliva.
Name invalid. Access denied.
I don't think I'll get it to open that way. I have to remember to give it back.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
I should record someone's voice. I should I have to remember to give it.
I thought, for some reason, I thought it already had Clive's voice on it. But I guess I was wrong. So, instead...
Excuse me, Doctor. Could you tell me your name again?
Dr. Susan Oliva. It's marked clearly on the door.
Done.
All right. Let's see if the plan works.
Please state your name for the voice identification system.
Dr. Susan.
Oh
Name
man.
invalid. Access denied.
What in the world? Oh, the battery went dead right when I needed it. I'll take the battery out of the tape recorder. Gotta find a battery with some power.
That's a lie, actually. That's not how you solve this particular puzzle. Also, the museum can't afford an assistant for the restoration department, but it has voice identification. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but there's a myth or a theory that keeping batteries cold makes them last longer. Growing up, my parents always kept the batteries in the fridge, and I think it was for that reason. This game, according to this game, that theory is completely true. I myself have not checked it. Because we're not going to get a new battery.
There's no more power left.
We're going to dip this battery in the liquid nitrogen tank, which, to my mind, would mean that as soon as we pull it out, it's going to shatter.
No! I don't want to freeze my hand off. I need to use something to get the battery into the tank without putting myself or my hand at risk.
Sorry, we're gonna put it in the
I
ladle.
don't like that idea. You won't get... It looks like the ones used for wine tasting.
He won't put the battery in the ladle until the ladle's in his
Let's see
inventory.
if it fits. Perfect! Fits like a glove. Well, this is a good opportunity to check whether you can restore some of a dead battery's energy by lowering its temperature.
Science is fun, kids. I learned this on Mr. Wizard. And then he just sticks it back in his
Let's remove
pants.
the battery from the ladle. The battery is definitely frozen. I hope it'll make the tape recorder run now.
Shouldn't it shatter?
Voila! I hope the recorder will work now.
Me too. So again, this game really expects you to know obscure possible science facts, because even the main character isn't sure that freezing a battery would work, but we're expected to know that it would.
I hope the battery lasts long enough.
Please state your name for the voice identification system.
Dr. Susan Oliva.
It works.
Identification verified. Good evening, Dr. Oliva. Please remember that the chamber will automatically close in 30 seconds.
It worked! I shouldn't do this, but I've already had to do so many other crazy things tonight.
Somebody said you had to.
I hope nothing serious happens to it once it's outside the thermal chamber.
Nothing bad is going to happen to it worse than what we're going to do.
You'll never get the ruby out with your fingers. It's wedged in really tight.
If only we had some kind of pry bar.
The way it's shaped, it'd be a spiffy bottle opener.
And now we ruin a priceless Mayan artifact. The key point of the entire Mayan display.
Good idea. Maybe I can use it to get the ruby out.
So,
Cool! It worked!
we have now set a hospital on fire and destroyed a priceless artifact. But I'm sure that's the end of our crimes. Oh, hey, that's right. This would work better with a more powerful ruby.
Let's see if I can put this one in place of the one that's already there. Fantastic! I think this will make the laser beam much more powerful. Now I'll wait for the doctor to come and use the laser.
So, burned down a hospital, desecrated one artifact, and we've destroyed
worked!
another one.
My heart goes out to the good doctor, but there was nothing else I could do.
I need an ice mocha now.
Listen, Doctor. Let me tell you what we're gonna do. You just keep working as though nothing happened, and I'll sweep up the pieces of that figurine. Just wait and see. No one will ever miss it.
No, no. My hands aren't what they used to be anymore. I couldn't even peel an almond if I had to.
Don't.
Oops.
No, no. I couldn't even...
I have to get her to keep working so she can restore the crucifix fast.
So, she told us what she needs. She needs coffee. Since the coffee machine is out of coffee, we're going to talk to Slick Willie here.
Hi, Willie.
Hey man, how's it going?
I noticed the coffee machine upstairs is out of coffee.
Yeah, it went dry this afternoon.
Well, I could sure use a cup of joe. Isn't there anything you can do to get it to make just one more cup?
Just one more cup? Of course. You can go up to it and softly whisper. Nice little machine. Couldn't you serve me one more cup of coffee, please?
Okay, I don't need this attitude from a
I'm
janitor.
telling you, no. If it's out of coffee, it's out of coffee. And there's nothing more to it. It's all that crazy Dr. Oliva's fault. She is one sick lunatic. She must put away 20 ice mochas a day.
No wonder her
No
hands
wonder
aren't.
she's so
Yeah.
edgy all the time, the old bat.
When are you gonna refill them?
Listen, man, don't be so demanding. Yesterday, I put the last package left in the storeroom, so I can't do anything about it right now.
I don't want to take up any more of your time, Willie. See you later.
See ya.
I don't like Willie, and I don't want to talk to him when I don't need to. Especially since this game doesn't even have a point system. So, this is now Runaway, the quest for coffee.
I don't know much about art, but this all looks amazing.
There's a back door there that we can't use.
It's a human figure dressed as a king with some kind of bowls at his feet. I guess those objects represent the offerings the Maya made to their kings and gods. Hey, that bowl there has something that looks a lot like coffee in it. I'm grabbing it. Maybe I can use this to make Dr. Oliva some coffee.
Wow, he jumped to that really quick.
I don't know what's in there, but it looks a lot like coffee beans.
And he's perfectly willing to just feed that to somebody from a museum exhibit.
I guess it's some Mayan god.
It looks a little bit like coffee. That's good enough for me. Now, here's how this is going to work. He can't just put the coffee beans in the machine. But we don't know that. So every step for the rest of this puzzle, as we complete a step, we have to go back to Willie to say, is this good enough? He says no, and then we can do the next step. It's a procedural puzzle.
Willie, here's some coffee so you can refill the machine upstairs.
I don't know, dude. That doesn't look like coffee to me. Anyway, those are coffee beans, and that stupid machine ain't gonna work with nothing but coffee that's all ground up, man.
He went from that doesn't look like coffee to those are coffee beans pretty quick.
Brings back memories of Dr. Saidow, my dentist.
So we have an electric lathe here.
I might be able to use the lathe to grind the coffee beans.
I want to be very clear, we have no evidence that this is coffee. Or that it's not, 2,000-year-old beans.
It worked like magic! Now this coffee-like stuff has been ground.
Coffee-like stuff that we're going to feed the doctor. This is what I meant by potentially poisoning somebody, because this ain't right.
Willie, here's some coffee so you can refill the machine upstairs.
Dude, are you sure this crud is coffee?
No.
Yeah, of course it's good coffee. I buy it in bulk.
No, man, I'll pass. It's not that I don't trust you, dude, but I don't want any trouble. I'd rather use the Java I normally pick up for the machine, in case I get busted.
Remember earlier there was that the bag here in the trash can?
Alright, it may be just what I need.
Now we can pick it up.
It's empty, but I can still smell coffee.
Contextual.
Okay, start pouring. Phew, that was just the right amount. Now it looks like a brand new package of coffee.
How did you don't have any tape or anything. How did you do that? How did you make it look brand new?
Willie, here's some coffee so you can refill the machine upstairs.
Dude, this is the brand I always use. Yeah, baby, this is right on time. See? Now I don't have to go out tomorrow and buy some. I'm gonna go fill up that junky coffee machine right away.
With a coffee-like substance that may or may not
This
be
Willie
coffee.
guy's an unusual character. Well, let's see if I can finally take this rich aromatic coffee to the doctor. I'll just wait one little moment so Willie has time to refill the machine. Okay, let's go.
There was a lot of squeaking in refilling that machine. And believe it or not, we're almost at the end of Chapter 2. The game goes pretty quick when you know what you're doing. When you don't,
It's working now. The red light is off.
it's a task of endlessly going around this game clicking on everything you've already clicked on, because sometimes it changes.
Okay, I'll just get one. I hope it's nice and strong.
I hope it's not poison.
I have to give it to Susan as soon as I can so she'll keep working.
We have no idea what we just put in this.
Here, Doctor, have some coffee. It'll make you feel better. Now, that's better, isn't it? Come on, you can start working again now that you've calmed down. We wouldn't want the Mayan exhibition to be canceled because you didn't finish your work, would we now?
Of course not. I'll get to work immediately, and no one's gonna stop me this time. Not even the feds.
What? What? I'm telling you, we gave her something hinky.
Munchkin Bob.
That's
I
offensive.
see you haven't grown much in the past few years.
That's more
If it
offensive.
ain't Gustav, my one-eyed pal. It looks like the eye they ripped out of you hasn't grown back either.
Good
Careful,
job, Bob.
Don't tempt me. Let's just get down to business. They're still in that dumb museum, right?
That's right. The car hasn't moved from the lot. We can wait here until they come out and grab them.
Without the car, they could have escaped in some other direction. Nah, I won't run the risk of having them get away again. Let's go after them. You wait here, Bob, and watch to see if the cops show up.
Okay, Gustav. Whatever you say.
Well, I had to leave the doctor alone so she could pay full attention to restoring the crucifix. But it's been a while now, and being as enthused as she was after drinking that coffee,
Quote
I'm sure
unquote.
the crucifix is all finished. So, I'm going in. Man, it looks like the doctor is completely out of it.
I
But
think we
see
killed
she
her.
managed to finish restoring the crucifix.
It's a cross.
Excellent. It certainly needed polishing. Oh, looks like new. This is interesting. Now I'm sure we can find out where it came from and what it's for. I better go to the lab right away and use the scanner to check out the crucifix.
Because the thugs are right outside.
Great. A few hours sleep and she'll be as good as new.
So to be clear, we stole one of the priceless artifacts, had her break another, and then we desecrated the star attraction. Then we gave her quote-unquote coffee that made her work like a demon, and then she either passed out or died, because we haven't checked her pulse. So she's almost definitely going to lose her job, and Willie might lose his job because other people are going to drink the poison coffee too. Yeah. We're monsters.
Dude, what a weird night. Are you guys friends of Clyde's too? First came that hot babe with Brian the Dweeb Man, who I have nothing against, of course. He may be a nerd, but he's a nice guy. And now
Aw.
you guys, man. By the way, what are those getups you're wearing, man?
Wow. I feel bad I didn't
And
talk
you know
to him
what?
more.
It's about time I found out what that is. Let's see if I can figure out how to work the fancy scanner.
Should it have electricity arcing like that? That doesn't seem safe. Thank God we're a child prodigy.
So, the crucifix is of
Cross.
Hopi origin. The Hopi are a Native American tribe that lives in Arizona. Great. That is an important piece of information, but I'm starting to understand this whole story less and less. The materials that the crucifix is made of aren't valuable at all. And even though it's probably of some historical value, it'd never be worth killing people over. There must be something else behind the story of this crucifix.
Brian, quick, follow me. It's Gina. She's in danger.
How did you know I'd broken into the secret lab?
Sorry, Brian. No! You told me you wouldn't hurt me if I handed it over to you. No!
As you can imagine, this is when things got really out of control.
Yeah.
Luckily, those guys were interested in knowing what we'd found out. Otherwise, I doubt they'd have let us live. Of course, that blow to the head knocked me out, and I didn't know what was going on for quite a while. When I came to, I realized that we were flying in a helicopter. My head ached and pounded, and when Gina told me what happened to Clive, well, I felt absolutely awful to know they'd done away with him. I couldn't stop thinking that if I hadn't gone to the museum that night, he'd still be alive.
And Willie and Dr. Oliva.
I did my best to get over it, and decided that feeling sorry for him would get us nowhere. The sad truth was that I'd have the same fate as Clive if I didn't come up with a plan. The instinct for survival and a desire for revenge took over my thoughts. I totally forgot about Clive.
My friend who just
the
died.
helicopter began to descend. I could see we were landing in a desert area in the middle of what looked like an old oil field. We were taken out of the helicopter and put inside of an old cabin. It was pretty obvious they were mainly interested in Gina. As soon as we got in the cabin, they tied her to a chair and started to beat the living daylights out of me. They put me to sleep once again with a well-aimed pistol whip at the back of my neck. When I woke up, I was all turned around and I thought my head was going to explode. Ouch! Oh, my aching head. Those wretched thugs smacked me up good. I swear these insane murderers are gonna pay for this. On top of it all, they stole everything I had on me. My wallet, my car keys, my piece of amber.
Really?
Everything.
You care about the piece of amber?
But the first thing I've got to do is find out what they've done with Gina and try to get out of this huge mess in one piece. There's a fairly large crack in the middle of the door.
You need a manicure, doll? Hold on. I'll go look for some pliers.
Leave me alone. You're just a bunch of filthy murderers.
We know Johnny was talking to you at the club before we got there. You tell us what he told you, and you can leave this place in one piece.
I already told you everything I know. I was just with Johnny for a second or two, and he didn't tell me anything.
I have to help Gina. Those animals are capable of doing anything.
And that's where we're going to end our chapter, except for one more note here.
They're mine, but those jerks broke them. I'm lucky I only have a slight case of myopia in each eye. I really use glasses as a precaution more than a necessity.
Nerd. So this kind of begins, one of the things I do like about this game is our hero changes over the course of the game. As you can see, his outfit, it's now dirty, he's lost, I'm pretty sure this is a different shirt, and we've now ditched the glasses. His clothing becomes symbolic of the change that happens to him personally over the course of this journey. It's kind of a nice touch. I like it. And we'll call this LP as well, because why not? So, join us next time as we take forever to rescue Gina, and I'm fairly certain, yes, this is the chapter where we hang out with Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and her friends, and possibly one of the most absurd puzzle solutions in an adventure game ever. See you guys next time.